my name is Anna Garcia, and I'm an intern here at Pediatric Therapy Associates. And today, I will be conducting a virtual interview with a clinician from Pediatric Therapy Associates. The main purpose of this interview is to give insight into the career of occupational therapy. We have Tiffany Montes, who is a clinician and specializes in occupational therapy, also known as OT. Hi, Tiffany.
Hello.
Okay, so I prepared a couple questions for us today, and I'm very interested to hear your responses.
Sounds good.
Okay, so the first question. Why did you decide to pursue OT as a career? Was it something you always wanted to do?
So OT is kind of like a little hidden gem of kind of rehab and the medical field in general. I actually did not learn what OT was. Like I had never heard of it until like my sophomore year of undergrad. So I came into it pretty late as far as like, people knowing what they want to do.
Yeah.
But what really made me want to do it is I always knew that I wanted to work with kids in some kind of medical capacity. And I thought that meant you had to be a pediatrician. But I didn't like how you don't get to spend a lot of time with them. You see them for their checkups and that's it. You don't really get to build a lot of rapport with the parents. It's very like go, 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 go. So I wanted something a little more hands-on. So I turned to education. And I actually got my undergrad degree in special education. And I feel like OT is kind of a great mix of both, where you are spending a lot of quality time with the kids, really working one-on-one with foundational skills that kids with special needs need in order to be more functional adults. Not that OT doesn't also work with adults, but
Yeah.
I work in the pediatric setting. So that is kind of where my focus is. And that's really what made me want to do it, is it was this nice balance of meeting kids where they're at while still helping them move forward from, a more medical point of view rather than an educational point of view. When I'm in the clinic setting, when I'm working in schools, it's more educational. So it's really nice because I like a lot of flexibility in my career, which OT gives you. You can go, adults, mental health, peds outpatient, peds schools, adults outpatient, adults skilled nursing. Like you have so many options. Yeah. And I love that I will never be bored as an OT.
And that's what I think is so interesting, that you could specialize in so many areas within the career and you could see what interests you the most and just pursue that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think that's also so amazing. Thank you for answering that. Okay. So second question, what does an average day look like for you? Is it much more hands-on or hands-off learning, would you say?
No matter where you're at, you're very hands-on. A typical day varies from setting to setting, but you are always working pretty much one-on-one or in a group with your patients, clients, whatever they're called in that setting. So when I'm in the clinic, I get like an hour with a child, and I'm spending that hour either educating a parent on strategies to use at home, or I am working with that child one-on-one on, their sensory regulation, self-regulation, foundational motor skills, anything like that. You're very hands-on. So a typical day would probably be in the morning, I will look at my notes. I will work on any reports that need to be done because I see most of my kids in the evening in the clinic setting, or afternoon, evening. So I'll use my mornings to prep. And then in the afternoon, when I'm working one-on-one with kids, I'll see, 4 or 5 kids in an afternoon and work on their individual goals, which is why I need the prep time in the morning, is to know what their goals are. Work on them or work with them, depending on whether or not the parent is in the room. I will take some time at the end of a session, if they're not in the room, to educate them on, what they can do at home. I think parent education is so important because they only get an hour with me, whereas they're at home the rest of the week for most of them, for a lot of little kids. So, and then I will write up any notes on what I did, and then it just repeats.
I see. Your day, I feel like, consists of so many steps, and like you have to do those all periodically in order to get whatever you need to get done. So it's definitely busy.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the third question. Has there been a particular session with a child that stood out to you or stuck with you, either because of something interesting that occurred during the session or a level of success that was achieved that you found to be amazing or really progressive?
Yeah, so I um, have one kid that's a feeding kiddo. So we're working on expanding his diet a little bit because he will only eat crunchy foods, lots of carbs. He's not really getting well balanced meals in because he can't tolerate it. And mom brought in a Lunchable and she's like, he doesn't eat meat, he doesn't eat cheese. This has crackers, cookies, which he likes, and meat and cheese, which he likes. Because I told her the session beforehand to bring in an even amount of foods that he does like and foods that he doesn't like
To balance it out.
to balance it out. And then if he gets overwhelmed with the foods that he doesn't like, there's something safe for him to eat. And it was a really successful session because she got to stay in the room with me while I showed her what I would do with him for feeding. And I like to teach kids all skills through play because that's how kids learn. So we were playing with our food. He will not tolerate or did not tolerate anything that he thought would slimy. So things like ham, where it's got that little glaze on it.
Yeah.
Anything wet, he won't touch. But I got him to pick up the ham and put it in his mouth and take a bite and then put the whole thing in his mouth again and pretend to be a dog because it kind of looks like a dog tongue. He was having so much fun and he managed to like keep it in his mouth for way longer than I expected him to, because I was really only expecting him to go like and put it
And
down.
just to put it back out.
But he was having so much fun, he wasn't thinking about the fact that he thinks that he is gross. So it was really successful and mom was so surprised. She's like, I've never seen him even think about touching meat like that.
And I think it was so interesting how you incorporated fun and you still made like something as so specific that he doesn't like to do, which is eating or those specific foods. And you still made it like entertaining and interesting for him to want to try it and be like, okay, this like looks fun to eat. Let me try it out with like,
yeah.
I thought that was really interesting how you balance that out. Okay. Next question. So how much of an impact do parents have on their child's improvement? Do you mostly work with the child and the parents, or do you mostly focus one-on-one with the child? How does that dynamic work in a sense?
I would say that a parent's involvement can really make or break a kid's success in OT or any therapy really. Because like I said, I only get an hour with them a week and sometimes not even that, depending on, the order. So think about if you only worked out one time a week for an hour, you wouldn't be super fit.
You wouldn't see much improvement there.
Exactly. You would need that consistency throughout the week in order to see any results. And it's the same thing with the kids. It's like I really try to focus a lot on teaching the parents what I'm doing, because what I'm doing looks like a lot of fun. It looks like we're just playing. It looks like we're just, throwing blocks or doing puzzles or playing with slime. But I try to make like a big emphasis on this is why I'm doing this, because, if your kid's not eating because he doesn't like a texture, playing with slime or shaving cream is that kind of same similar texture, but he's
familiar with it.
It's getting familiar with it. He's being safe with it. Or if they are having like fine motor problems, it's like, we're just doing puzzles, but he's working on that pincer grasp because the puzzle piece has like a little knob on it. And that's what you need in order to, pull up a zipper or tie your shoelaces. And giving them strategies at home, especially with kids that have a lot of difficulty with regulating themselves. So like kids with big meltdowns. I give parents a lot of sensory strategies like, okay, before you do something that he's not going to like toothbrushing, let's try doing this at home. Let's have him carry a really heavy laundry basket because, I'll explain that's really helpful to them regulating themselves, doing exercise or doing something like that. And if those strategies are done consistently at home, that's when you really start to see a lot of improvement at the rate that you really should be seeing it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's more of a 50-50 with the child and the parent. You also want to incorporate the parent so they can keep, how you said, implementing those strategies throughout the week, so that way they see more success in their child.
Exactly.
Oh, I understand. Okay. Okay, next question. Are there any expectations you had about this career that you found differed from reality in either a positive or a negative way?
I think that in a positive way, there's a lot more science and research behind it than I was expecting, because like I have a background with special needs kids. Like since I was a teenager, I've been working with special needs kids. So I had a lot of like experience with them, but then going to OT school and having a career in OT, it's like I need to actually back up the things that I'm telling parents. I need to have an understanding, and that also helps me to come up with better treatments. Is looking at research. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot more like when you're doing your internship, you only see like the hour-long session that we're having a lot of fun in, but it's a lot of prep work, which is a good thing because it means I feel prepared and the kids get better results. I think that's something that I wasn't really expecting, and I don't know why. You have to go to grad school for OT, so I don't know why I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. I see when I just intern those sessions, all I see is that 1 hour long interaction with the child, but you don't really think about all the research that goes behind it and all the planning and evaluating and making better judgment for that child that goes behind it. Something I didn't even know either. Okay, our last and final question. What skills would you say are the most crucial to succeeding in this career?
I would say you have to be fun. You have to, know how to have a good time, because, as a 27-year-old, I don't naturally like to do 4-piece puzzles and build stack blocks and, tie my own shoes.
Yeah. They're not your hobbies.
They're not my hobbies, but it's something that I do every day. And it's something that I have to make seem like a lot of fun, because if I'm bored doing it, the kids are also bored doing it. You have to be fun. You have to be very patient. A lot of kids are going to, try and push your boundaries because they want to see what they can get away with. You have to be patient with parents, because you're either going to get parents that don't understand what you're doing and are like, why would I want to do that at home? And then you can, maybe get a little frustrated of like, why are you bringing your kid to therapy? Results. But you have to be patient and understand that like they don't know, so you have to teach them. Or you'll get parents on the opposite side that are super involved and like, why am I not seeing results after week 1? And kind of being like, okay, would you see results after week 1 of doing anything?
Probably not.
Probably not. Exactly. So being patient with both the kids and the parents, fun, patience. And I think the final big one would be empathy. Understanding that like, yes, I would love to have every single family come in and see what I'm doing and have them explain, but also understanding that that's not realistic. Most parents are working or have multiple jobs, multiple kids with special needs, are really busy parents, or kids that are really frustrated and they don't have the skills to make themselves not frustrated. Because as adults, you and I can be like, okay, I'm getting really upset. I need to step back and take a deep breath. Understanding that a kid can't do that regardless of special needs or not. So having a little bit of empathy with them and not pushing them super hard and giving them the strategies of like, okay, I'll teach you, we need to be working together, and being empathetic to their situation and not just getting frustrated with the fact that they're not doing what you want them to do.
I say yes. And I feel like all those 3 skills, the way you explain them makes them seem so crucial in every aspect, that for this career, you must have so much patience, so much empathy, and you just have to know how to have a good time and to incorporate fun throughout your sessions, because I feel like that's when you'll see most interaction and most improvement with them. That was really interesting. Okay, well, thank you very much, Tiffany.